Good morning, everybody. I hear it's a little cold up north. It's still, well, now it's the beautiful weather. It's hot and yet not so hot. I don't see where my gray glasses are. There they are. I wasn't used to seeing myself in gold ones. So, long weekend. I'm sure if you're someone who went marching or were outside, depends on where you are, how the weather was. So, it's you and me today, Carol. So, what I wanted to talk about today, good morning, Marianne. Oh, that's right. I have an image to show you of something that once again journeyed into our experience this weekend. What you'll see here is a little armadillo. It's not so little. It was probably about a foot long. There he is moving along. So then when we looked at the armadillo, which you can certainly do. Good morning, Prime 3. It's good to have you here in Anik. It was all about prosperity, wisdom, all good things. So, as someone said the other day, the Lord keeps letting us have a sign to show us what's coming to us. And I just think you are always interested about what's happening here. Yes, and all here this morning. Yes, I attended Protect. Don't know what that means. Prime 3's here. Annick's here. Prime 3 says also good morning. My glasses. I can't tell if it's making a double letter. All, I guess, maybe. So I'm thinking maybe someone who's here today has something that you would like me to have a greater explanation about. And we have the World Video Expo coming up on Thursday. Not being sure we're in it because it's like you have to take time and rebuild the whole website just to have on there for people to see what you're doing. So if I get that complete, Doug's supposed to have a meeting with them today. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I will be at this World Expo. It's all online. So all you have to do is call me or email me, and you get fitted in for a time. It tells you how much everything is. Quite interesting. I think she has like 52 people who were involved. Always interesting what's going on there. I did attend a protest. Well, we read yesterday, and I don't know how truthful it is, that there were no protests in Florida. So we were saved that. But I'm supportive of everyone who did. Yeah. But it's gotten that. I even think we saw the eagle again yesterday for a short while. It came, dived, and left kind of more on the outer edge of where we see. Excuse me. But beautiful things happening. So does anyone want to write in something they want to know more about or talk about? Yeah. I have my pendant on because I couldn't put it on with this shirt. It would have hit right here on, and I have oil on my skin. So you can't wear it with oil. So if you wonder where it is, it's in here, pinned on. So I'm hearing in my head, there are all kinds of people that are doing all kinds of things. I'm going to offer the Palladian infusion, do healings. Don't have my list here. Let me see. I know our sheet's here somewhere. I'm going to do healings like I normally do with chakra release. And I'm going to do a sound bath with crystal bowls. And I'm going to work with people if they want to have a message from their higher master teacher, or a one-on-one for an hour with any of the masters they might pick. And a lot about moving forward and how you are showing energetically to me that you need to move forward and how it would be beneficial to you. So that's what we're putting out. And we'll see how that's going to go as far as creating like a whole website. Things here are moving. I don't know why. Yeah, good. All right, so the person who's coming to me today is Joshua. For those of you who already do not know, Joshua is my higher self, has been since the moment that I was of age, because I've been awake since I was small. He is who's been there for me. So I'm going to allow him to speak to you for a moment, because he has been my guide on my journey. You know, when I was little, I lived on a farm, and I would go up through the barn area up to where a pond was, and I was just a cute little blonde girl and sit there, and Jesus would come, and he would take a balloon down, at least in my imagination, and we would fly up and walk down the soul aisleway, he called it, and there'd be all these pictures on the wall of different times where I lived and that my soul existed there. So every time I changed and needed something and it needed to look different, shortly after, I guess it was in the early 90s, different works started coming to me as I was working with people. Oh, we'll go here. Just do that on the arm. So it's how I was taught many of the things. While some people I did learn from, but nothing really stays what they had. It's always been integrated into what God showed me. And for me, from his preaching, it's always been to become more light, to raise your light consciousness, to reach up, to become the master that all of us on some level are. And someone keeps moving my nothing here. Let me move it and see if it still does it. Very weird right here. And my keyboard keeps moving back and forth, which if you have a keyboard, you know they usually just fall. Yes, and then we went to Thailand and learned to become initiation masters for Babaji for his technique, which I know as soon as everything gets calmer, I will get up for all of you. It's a once in a lifetime thing I would definitely have if I were any of you. And that would be another different explanation. So, good morning, Dream Tooth. So, there's key areas you want to focus on. You want to focus on your throat, your third eye, and your heart. So, let's all write them down. The heart, the third eye, and the throat. So, the heart, for most of you now, has become pink. It's no longer the old green color. Third eye is purple. And the throat is a blue. Now, let's realize all these things have a variance in the level of the color, is how you will begin to know and understand where you are with each situation. So let's start with the heart. The heart can be from an apple green to where it actually begins to hold pink. So that means the apple green and the expansion of the heart is a different level of love. And I know I've attempted to talk to this with you before. So if you take the dark green of how hearts used to look and kind of take it and just spread it out this hole where I'm sitting, it wouldn't be a dark green anymore. It would begin with light, become like an apple green. And then when you infuse it with the love of God through you, it will illuminate also the pink. So you can be at that lighter green state. You can have it be pink. It's going to tell you also how you feel when you go into your heart. You know, there's love and there's a great loving in love. How to love yourself, how to love everybody you meet. When you're sitting at the table to eat, sending that light of that love from your heart that allows a greater digestion, a greater absorption on not just the food you're eating, but all the words that you're digesting, that you all speak to each other, and to have a different way of looking at them, even a taste that's different. So if we look here at the throat, it can be anywhere from an aqua blue to a deep midnight blue. I prefer the deep midnight blue, and mine is now turned to gold. So you are going to understand why, because the midnight blue has a greater depth in the words of God. You know, this is where you speak trust and truth and the essence of God. So we want that to be a deep blue. Let me see if I see anything here with that. I have lapises on here, do I? Yes, that's why the lapis is one that you can wear around your throat. So I don't have anything right here. Again, we're trying to reset my desk for this, so everything's kind of trying to see. This is my peacock thing. One of the greatest images to have as a helper for you is a peacock, because peacocks have all the colors and they're all demonstrative and in action. Like here's a beautiful color for a throat. And you can see here in between is that pinkish color coming through. Third eye is going to be the purple. Yeah, can you see that? So I love peacocks. They're a great symbol for you to have to put on whatever you're putting out, because it tells someone that you're, good morning, Sandy H., that you are well-rounded and not just talking from over here. This is, to me, says you've been walking the path, you have done a lot of letting go, and that you are beginning to have an understanding of what there is to know and how to share and what to speak. And you know, I've had people who, well, what would I say? And I have to say to you, when you're at that point and you're ready, it'll be spoken through you. It isn't that the human comes up with that. So it'll be the human that tries to. And that's when we all hear ego or whatever. You want to allow the divinity to touch you and have a union with that. So my throat is definitely not my own. My third eye shows me that which I need to see, and my heart is overwhelming love beyond what people can see for themselves. So as we all sit here, and I'm wondering if you can feel the beautiful pink light come and bless you as they're wanting you to expand. You don't want your field to be like this big. You want it to be even out beyond that. Because the more you surrender into the root, the more energy. You see, a lot of people are up out of their bodies. Their chakras aren't even here. So first and foremost, you have to align each chakra. Yes, expand. Tanny, good morning. So first thing is to really get yourself walking, or making sure when you're sitting down in your chair, in your consciousness. Because I meet a lot of people every day that are woo, 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 thinking they're getting very good ideas, but they're in la la land. And who they are can't even express themselves in this world because they're asleep in another world. And I'm not going to point fingers, but Marianne is one of the most profoundest changes I've seen her make, is to bring all the light she had developed and bring it into the earth and to become. And I think you would probably agree with me, Marianne, that you are more awake and aware of everything around you now more than before. It's beautiful. It's what's supposed to happen. And it's like then when you walk, each foot is on the land, not just on the floor. You have to think about it and go beyond the floor of the house. You're on the land. You're in the root. And that expands all the way down into Divine Mother's energy. You know, all the pillars. So Marianne says yes. She looks alive. You wonder how you can become more beautiful? Well, you must open these chakras that have the beauty in them of who you are. The beauty of your love, the beauty of your expression, your beauty of the power of the third eye as it gives you to live so many things in such a different way. Masters many times, and I'll show you mine, have suggested that you get a blue trying to let the word come to me again. Here's the one, I have the little eye mask and I put it in over my third eye. Whether it's more focused or not so expanding and very defined, it will help your eyesight. Blue. It's not coming to me yet. But isn't that beautiful? And I can't remember today. I'll remember tomorrow. So I would say the one thing everybody wants is to be able to see. When I first awoke, there's been a lot of different awakenings, and that occurs each time something else would happen. So in the beginning, I went to someone's house and I could see trees coming up inside their house, and they said, oh yes, it used to be a forest. And then we would see little children with the family sitting, and they were ones who lived in that forest. It was very interesting, but you don't ever want to do anything that shuts your sight down. There is a reason why it's telling you what there is, and just has to keep seeing it with your heart. So here's where we start to begin to link them all together. You want to let your heart embrace your throat and your vision, so there be no ill intention. You are only supporting, expanding someone else upon their journey. So techniques, there are so many. First, DK would tell you, begin by using an energy. Thank you, Carol. Blue fluoride. Students are good to have around sometimes. So blue fluoride. I've seen a lot of different shapes and sizes, but you have to remember you want it to be under a mask that you wear at night. So I'll show that to you again. I've seen them smaller, I've seen them bigger. This is the one that came to me. It's a little thick, but the way I put it in there, like this, I don't really notice. But yes, no matter how well you see now, there's always more. There's always another depth, a different understanding. So I'll go to my backyard, which is beautiful. It looked like a fleet of ships out here this weekend. When we studied with Saint Germain, he taught us that when there's a gathering like of the flat vehicles, the ships, and definitely there was a fleet of them, and then later a rain came for very short and they all disappeared. So you have to understand there's so much we don't really ever know, and until you start requesting and ask for it to come, that's why Joshua has been such a rock for me. And yes, he is the Joshua that took over for Moses, still walked that whole path with him. And you have to remember, we are all walking a path. And however it is for you, you want to always ask your higher self to help you not only become awake and aware, but to also live in love. Does that mean there has to be a loving person across from you? No, but it means that your heart, whatever moment you're in, has a great love for you. Or if you don't feel that love for you, you're not where you need to be. I used to go every morning to the mall when I lived in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. For an hour, just walk, and I'd speak positives. I feel no pain. I feel no pain. The sun is shining. I'm a whole being. The things that I wanted to have happen, I would speak them as if they had happened. And what happens is your whole world changes and becomes that which you've asked for. And it's quite fascinating, quite interesting. Studying with the science of mind brought me an awareness of the capacity of words and thoughts and what they could do for you. So, a lot of different things that are out there for you, and you have to hold that book and see if it's just a book or is it speaking to you. Because we're all different. We're not going to all be like a machine or have everything be the same. So some people are meant to learn some things and some aren't. But definitely that's what Earth is about. No matter who you've been, if you're here on Earth, you're about growing more in wisdom and aligning your consciousness into a greater height. So you're here, so it has to be what it's for. It's about a soul learning. Yeah, here we are, back to that great word, the soul. And maybe some of you haven't even begun to think about touching your soul. And it's true. There are great unicorns that can be around to help guide you into your soul if you hadn't thought of that. I have a deck of unicorn cards, and I used to use them to have people help find their unicorn that would speak to them and show them how to go. It's a different opening than your heart because they're really two different places while they are very integrated. So when you go to, after you pass and stop living here, and you go through your interview, it's about what the soul learned. It's not about what your heart learned. Some people don't actually know that. It's about what the soul learns. So has anyone come up with a question here as I'm rattling on? Fear is your greatest enemy. Even Joshua will speak to me of how he had to overcome his fear of the responsibility, which I would think many of us all do. When the responsibility has become more, if you're able to surrender, you need to let that fear just wash it out with the hose underneath you and let it go, because there actually is, and the Heavenly Father said this to me one day, there's not really anything you can do wrong, TheoSophia. Because when you have your heart and your throat and your vision, and you've worked with them and transformed them, you have to believe in them. It brings us all back to the core of faith. So if there's a space or time that I don't know, you want to say to yourself, I don't know, then you ask God to show me. Show me the answer. Show me what I'm not able to allow in. And He will. I would say those are the most two sacred words that God has left me with on my journey is show me. I don't know how we're going to make it for this expo. Sounds like I'm quite different, but the Lord's going to show me. Because remember, the Metatron came with a call for me to put the call out for everyone to come to evolve. So the way to do it has come. We'll see how we're going to do getting there. Yeah. So many. It's so much. And you can just see hordes of hands. You know how all these hands are in these protests? They're really out there asking for help. Show me. right. We can do no wrong. If we do, it brings attention for this then to grow. And that's the beauty of all this, you know. Part of what you want to agree to do is never be harmful. And that's through action and thought. And what a difference in your world that makes. Because remember, thoughts are things, and if the thought never leaves our mind, then it won't be coming back with, it always comes back to you with more. So wouldn't you rather it to come back with more love versus more of what you don't want? So, yes, it's one way to eliminate fear. It's about, I have faith. I know God walks with me. That if today I need it, God will carry me. And to develop that relationship with Him, that you know that's true. Yes, there is a great power in sight. The Egyptian pharaohs knew it. Not everyone knew it. It's become more talked about and known here in this world. So it's more so today is to observe the energy of the entire being. But let me explain. If that third eye is working, manipulating, it won't be a beautiful purple. It won't be an easy purple to look at. It will have darkness. And that's why having the third eye open is so important, so you can perceive these colors and shapes. Well, I've really given you all what you need as far as protection. First of all, violet flames, very simple. Call the violet flame in, about, and around you. I would take it through your home. Everywhere you go, bring the violet flame in before you. And then there's the beloved eye and presence bright. Round me see your tube of light. From ascended master flame, called forth now in God's own name. Let it keep my temple free from all discord sent to me. I'm calling forth the violet fire to blaze and transmute all desire, keeping on in freedom's name till I am one with the violet flame. This is what you want to build every day. Do it 3 times before you leave the home or once you get about your business. Because this tube of light comes from your I am presence right here, your individualized expression of God. Nothing can harm you. And if you need to do it in an hour, you can say 3 times. The quicker you go each time. So, Lauren, this is what you do. To strengthen it, you do it again. Maybe in 2 hours, you got to do it again 3 times. I just can't. I'll tell you how I know how powerful this is. One day we were at a carnival, and there was an Egyptian lady that had her sign up. So this was in the beginning of my process of being done this. So we went in. She wasn't young. She was maybe in her 50s. And she looks at me and she's twisting her head. She goes, I'm sorry. You're so well protected, I can't reach you. Now, I don't know how many people would tell you that today. I said, thank you very much. I honor what you do, and you must be very good at it. Because I had my shields up, and she couldn't get in. So, you have to begin to be aware of when it's paused itself, or it's so much stuff about attacking your field that it dwells, and do it again. In the beginning, it's a lot of marrying, almost like your best friend, this process. But you have to do it. You say welcome, and I'm going to ask you in a week, Lauren, how is your protective field doing? The chart of your divine self. Yeah, this is your individualized expression of God right here, your I am. I am God. This is your higher self, whoever that is for you. And this is you. All right? We all love this picture of Mary talking with Jesus. Yep, you can all be that white light. There is nothing that says you cannot. Good morning, Elizabeth Ann. Yes, we can call all the angels in. My first husband is on the edge of a deathbed. My daughter told me last night, so I'm going to take this opportunity to call in all the angels for him and let him have a wonderful journey to heaven, because it will be wonderful for anyone who's going there. And angels for my daughter. She's the one there. You know, he's not anywhere near where I am. And all I know is God's with him, so that's what's important. So any questions or anything else you want to know about? You know, we used to, in the Science of Mind class, sit and write a letter, date it, and ask for what you want. How do you want your life to look? And then when it's a year later, thank you, Sandy, she's saying, may his passing be peaceful, fearless, and pain-free. Thank you. I'm sure it will be. And such a kind heart. Thank you, Elizabeth. Let me think where I was going. I got lost. But, yeah. The path you're on is the absolute greatest path you could ever have to learn so much, to grow so much, and have a whole new experience before you. I had a wonderful experience when I was a child. My teenage years, I also did. And thank you for all your loving thoughts and words. My daughter went from early in the week till I'm just going to handle this on my own. And it took me sending her things. There's never a time when any of us are alone. And sending her millions of angels. And yesterday she sounded much different. She had spent the day with him. So now let's talk about you. What are you feeling about where you are on your path? So anyway, what I was saying, and then you look a year later and see if everything you'd asked for has come. And then if not, ask why. What do you need to do more of? Where are you turning your back on yourself? Because it's all about you. It's not about me or any of the others that you know. It's about you. Because like I told you a while back, it's about your growth. It's about you becoming. It's about you having the most phenomenal experiences there is. Where one day you'll go down the road and there'll be images that God's making all along your way. Ships or cars or Buddha is waving at you. It's a wonderful thing that every place you turn, God's there. Showing something to you, just like all these little animals out back. Such a beautiful setting. And I said to Doug the other day, I said, how can we ever move from here? This is become our godliness and our communication. So we will take a large portrait with us when we leave. Yeah. So you're here right now. There's a purpose, a soul purpose. And it's about you deciding, what is that? What is that purpose? Are you meant to live differently in some way? Are you meant to do healing for people? Are you meant to become a voice? Become one who touches? Ah, yes, I know that feeling too. And if you keep full love in your heart, it will always work out. You can hear from what I'm saying. My daughter chose her father. But if she's with me, she doesn't want to leave me. So you have to take away the negative thoughts about it and hold her in your arms as she was that little baby that was so endearing. At protest, there was such a sense of well-being and love and playfulness, which, noteworthy as we are, we've largely been so angry. I saw that happening national level. It was beautiful. That is what was needed, let's be honest. So just like they're saying, the extraterrestrials are helping us not have all these horrible storms that we're supposed to have. The extraterrestrials are helping us become that happiness to keep everything much balanced here for us. So Elizabeth Ann is taking care of her parents who are aging. My daughter says she will never take care of me. Don't worry about it, Mom. I'm not going to be there. I think it makes me laugh. None of us know what we'll do in a situation. And what I know, God will always take care of me. And I'll always be wherever I need to be. Goodbye, Lauren. Do you see what I'm saying? No one has the power to frighten you or to threaten you, because you, within the encompassment of your energy, are the godliness and the love you seek. It's discovering that that's true for you and that there's no way anyone can deny it. It doesn't matter if they do. It depends upon you and how you feel about you and your light. And I would guess, that everyone sitting here today feels different than when they came. Because it's an open space where we can talk, and I'm getting the chills myself, about love and the power that love has over us. And even with the third eye, it's seeing love. Yeah. I have one client, when he finally he can't hear, but he does hear when he speaks to his spiritual self. Now, don't you think that's interesting? And he, for a long time, couldn't see. Now he sees and can actually speak the story they're showing him. So it all comes with a willingness to do it. There's no fear. There's nothing that's going to be fearful. You're not someone weird. Everyone has the same gifts. It's dependent on how they use them. That's what makes it scary. I don't scare myself. Babaji pretty much hangs around me just like you see him right here. That's why he got hung that way. And he'll say, ask for me 3 times and he'll come immediately to you. And you're going to think, well, do I hear Babaji's voice? It may be an impression that you get or something to think about. Until you're ready to hear voices, that's not going to happen, but the idea will come. Or the awareness will come, or you'll pick up a certain book and it'll open to a certain page. Always there's a way to get the point across. Yes. He's given me that smile that has that wisdom. Sandy H., I worked with seniors for decades. There's always someone there at the end, someone living, the welcoming committee. I agree. I've had students that did that kind of work. And so you don't need to worry about yourself. Someone will always be there. God will take care of it. God will take care of you. Someone from a family that you remember will be there waiting for you. You're not going to go and have no one. There's too many people you've met over your journey. Yeah. I tell my mother, who died a long time ago, so I find her, she sits on my couch a lot. She just shows up. But then I can say, well, where'd she go? I wouldn't mind if she stayed the whole time, but she goes back to her friends. But that will be my first person to talk to and to hug. They'll just be as normal as when they weren't here, same as you will be. It's hard to imagine. Yes, a lot of wisdom and stillness. That's what the journey's been about, to develop. It really has. And it's not that the sooner you attain it, the sooner you're going to leave the planet. It's the sooner you'll be able to fulfill why you've come. Now, there's something to work with. Why do you go inside your heart? Let your third eye show you. Why are you here? Why have you come? Why is your soul here at this time? What does it want to know? You see? Where are you going? And that will give you purpose. Isn't it interesting how some words are words we've used in all kinds of ways, but when we talk about our spirituality, purpose is like one of the major things. Maybe you've been something before. You knew that it wasn't complete and you came back and you're going to be similar to that person, and it will evolve. Time will always be imperfection, because until you're ready, you won't know. Exactly my thoughts. Let's see, where's the last one? I don't understand your question. Try to rewrite it. Because that's the one thing we have power over, is our thoughts. Like, first, to love everybody. Have you tried it? That's a real challenge. I think first you have to own that no one can harm you. No one has that power unless you've given it to them, which why would you? So we may have lived other lives where we've given our power away. So our life stories help each other. We just need the courage to be able to speak our truth. And I would say you speak your truth to yourself, because not everyone hears the same words appropriately. I'm being very candid today because I feel very comfortable in who I am. But in the process of your growing, I would do less of that and more of your inner work. And that's why you hear that word, whether it's in meditation, in being with yourself inside and allowing it to share with you. And when that time comes and you're comfortable, like today, I'm sharing some of my stories. I can honestly say being where I am today is not where I would end up, or how I would feel. I didn't know that it was what it became. Maybe that's true for you, or maybe you already know. I don't know. But there's a humility and a surrender, and you need to learn how to be those, where they are, and not to have to be. There's nothing that's too late. There's nothing that's not quick enough. Those things are all gone when you surrender to allow it to show you and become you. I always tell everyone, you know how Disney used to say, little person, believe. Did we really ever get that it was to believe in who we are, to believe in God, to believe that there's a spiritual experience that's waiting for us? Amazing. Excellent, Elizabeth. That's probably exactly why my mouth is going. Thank you very much. Apparently, it's what I had planned to do, is to help people. And I'm excited about having the opportunity to go and to be there for the world. We'll see what happens if that comes about, and if I'm up and available, if people will choose it. I don't know. But you see, I don't know is the best thing to say to yourself. I surrender it. And we'll see. I have to say, Marianne, I think you've enriched my path also. We maybe knew each other another time. It's like I feel as I reach out, you're reaching out. Who knows what it all means? We don't. Not yet, until it's perfect timing. I'm going to say to Joshua, all I did was say his name. I really didn't get to say, but it's he's kind of nestled like right here. And he doesn't get to talk much, but he's always there and brings it to me in a thought. We're like one. Oh, hold on 1 minute. Okay. So, but I have that same feeling with a lot of people. And like, makes me think of Douglas. And up from where I was sleeping, I saw his face in gold. So I told him this morning, he goes, yeah, what's wrong with that? And I'm like, I'm not saying something's wrong with it. It was just like the eyes were gold. It was all just looking at me. So I also have the blessing of having a husband, which I believe is a choice from God to brought us back together. And you're not going to believe this. We have a wonderful teacher we studied with in Thailand. And I would say for almost all the 31 years that we've been together, we have not been able to find him. And just last week, he reached out to us, and we're going to talk to him over Zoom on Wednesday night. We are so excited. So you see how all of a sudden God brings a miraculous thing. I don't know what we're going to talk about, or I don't know. He's in Japan. Oh, that's interesting, Elizabeth. So, yeah. He's the one who brought us together. When I went to travel, because I was married to someone else, to Thailand, and found out they had me in the room with Douglas, I'm like, oh, I called up the teacher. I said, you can't do that. I'm a married woman. I'll have to not come. So they got that all changed around. And then by the end, he goes, don't you wish you had him in your own room? It was so funny. We just were together. We were meant to be together. Everyone saw our auras as one when we were together. So if I never went, who knows what would have happened. Okay. Oh, I'm so excited. And I'm surely going to tell you what we talk about. Yeah. course, he always knows all the things about us before we see him. So I'm sure he knows we're together, that it's the two of us. Yep. I mean, that's a lot of years to have, yeah, we meditated there for 3 months, unveiling all of who we are. It was very powerful. So, yeah. Is that a heart? What is in the middle of it? I can't see. Maybe a mended heart? A kiss from on high. Oh, thank you so much. I got my new pendant, but I couldn't put it on oil, which I have always oil. So I put it in here today. So it's still working, doing its thing. So I guess I've been talking for too long, huh? Oh my. Way more time than normal. Any other thought, question before I go? My day's going to be about getting ready for the expo. It's called The Abundant. I'm going to send it out to you if I find out I'm going to get in it. Well, thank you. You are all gifts to me. It's like every millisecond that I've taken to love me reminds me when I see all of you. So, thank you for listening and coming. Because we all have a purpose. We maybe can't even think about where it takes us or what it's going to do, but we all have one. So, thank you, Elizabeth Ann. My goodness, it's been a while since I haven't seen these top people up here. Danny and Sandy H and Dream Tooth. Hopefully you're all still here. It only says 9R. Oh, there's something new. It's all these hearts at Marianne. Elizabeth Ann says I've helped her so much today. Yeah, I've been about every person you can think there is. Work through it, evolve from it. And not only the teacher meeting, but I also had a teacher named Luis de la Lama, and he's now become an artist. He was an artist when he showed us what we saw him for. So I always send blessings to him because I think the greatest gift he gave to me was about shame. He took the time to let us know the greatest depth of difficulty within our own consciousness is to be ashamed. And that people have trouble getting rid of it. And he's the first person I saw with red arms here energetically. But he explained to me that that's when you're truly a healer that will heal. It's when the energy of your arms here become red. And I learned humility because that was a lot with me, with my dad, and all those kind of things. So if you're still out there on the journey and you haven't healed the shame inside, just start pouring the love with it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Absolutely nothing. Because every moment we have is purposeful. That's why it's there. It's all to heal our soul. Whether it's from another time, and now it's here to release you for forever, you got to learn the process. Okay. Your hands are numb, your fingers are numb. And my signal's going to say, yes, if you have shame and it has something to do with what you were doing with your hands, perhaps just take the gloves off. Let it be easy. See, I got ripples up my spine. Very good. How easy was that? So now you may want to write it a little bit to yourself or go into it. Well, maybe next time I see you, you can tell me, I'm not ashamed anymore. Because what it does is it builds the ability that you have and be happy about the love of God that you hold. God will take that shame and wash it away with an ocean, believe me, of love. All right, so I'm going to go. I think I'm about done my time. 12:01. I think it's the longest one ever. So, all my great love I want to share with all of you. I'll see you tomorrow for messages. See you later. You're very welcome. And thank you for being here. My heart feels it. Many blessings.